Welcome to Week 7 Waiver Wire. Joseph Robert Camo here. Going to dive into some optimal pickups this week, going into Week 7 to address your needs. Got a list of players here for you. Going to dive right into it. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys do click that subscribe button, guys. It helps the channel. Also, click the thumbs up. Also helps the channel. And follow on social media. I do a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling on Instagram. You definitely want to dive into that, okay? In regards to this season, let's talk about the season so far. It's been a season of some uncertainty, but a little more certainty than a typical year, minus the major injuries to running backs. You know, Nick Chubb going down, Kareem Hunt now going down. Hopefully Nick Chubb returns soon for those Nick Chubb owners. I'm not a Nick Chubb owner. CMC going down with that hamstring injury. Dalvin Cook, who was injured earlier in the season, and they continue to linger. You know, Saquon Barkley's out. There's a lot of injuries. But aside from that, guys, if you have RB depth, you'll be fine. Like I said, I lost Saquon, but I've got Najee and James Robinson carrying me through my league. So it's about having that depth. Overall, it's been a good year. I can't believe we're heading into Week 7. And I say this in all the shows. When the season starts, it seems to continue rolling relatively quickly. Okay, guys? So let's dive in. Let's enjoy the rest of the season. We're almost halfway there. And it's been exciting football to watch. And that's another big thing, guys. Football has been exciting to watch. Keeps us busy, keeps us excited, keeps us into the hobby a lot. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys do subscribe, thumbs up, and head on over to manscaped.com. Christmas is around the corner, holiday season. Use promo code SHOWERLION, save yourself 20% on some trimmers, manscaped.com. All right, so I've got some names here for you guys. Let's talk about it. There's a couple that I've highlighted that could be of value to you. Remember, when you are doing any waiver wire pickup, make sure that you guys do address your needs, okay? So let's talk about it. Tango Vailoa had a good game, 21.36 points. He did have an interception and the 2 touchdowns. So if you are desperate for a quarterback, Tua could be the guy. And if he's available in your leagues, Jalen Waddle, if he's available, had himself a good game. In PPR specifically, he had himself 29 points PPR, which is pretty remarkable. 70 yards for 2 touchdowns. But again, a lot of these guys are touchdown dependent that particular week. Do not expect that same outcome the week after. When I say touchdown dependent, I mean they had touchdowns to inflate their numbers that week, I should say. So maybe it might not happen the week after, okay? Another guy that had a good game here at wide receiver is KJ Osborne. Now, there is a lot of options there in Minnesota. When Cousins has a good game, so do the wide receivers. Osborne, a beneficiary this week, 19.8 points. A guy you may want to consider in deeper leagues if you need a wide receiver. Khalil Herbert, he was pretty much last week's waiver wire pickup. If he is available, he did do well, 19.2 points. Again, big thing was that rushing touchdown. Got a couple receptions for a few yards, but the touchdown helped him, and the 97 yards on the ground also helped him as well, okay? Alex Collins, not sure if he's available in your league. You probably picked him up before. Another option here. He had a good week, 100 yards on the ground, including a touchdown. He's grinding it out with Chris Carson being gone. Not sure about Chris Carson's status at the moment, but Alex Collins looking to be a good, reasonable replacement here for the way it looks right now. If you are looking at tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones had himself a good game option there. If you are desperate for a running back, Romandra Stevenson, okay, back up there for New England, could be an option. He got some work. He had 23 rushing yards. He did get that goal line touchdown there. I think Harris was a little banged up. Stevenson can get some work. So again, deeper leagues, or if you are desperate, and I know a lot of people are at running back, you could pick up Stevenson. But again, I'm not expecting huge volume unless Harris goes down, and he'll get the occasional touchdown here and there. So I'm not overly excited. Geno Smith, until Wilson's out, if you need him, he had a 10-point game. Nothing to get excited about. But if you are desperate for a quarterback, and I know people in 2 quarterback leagues can get desperate. I was there 5-6 years ago. What happened was, again, I don't know if you guys know the story, but a person in my league, it was a 2 quarterback league. I only had 2 quarterbacks. And this is why I advise make sure you have 3 quarterbacks in a 2 quarterback league and 2 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league. Apparently, I only had 2 quarterbacks. Bye week came along, went to the waiver wire to grab a quarterback to cover my bye week because it's a 2 quarterback league. It wasn't even a super flex league. It was literally a 2 quarter. You have to start 2 quarterbacks. Like, it's plugged in. And there was no quarterbacks. There was no quarterbacks on the waiver wire because one guy literally used all of his bench spots. I think we had like 8 bench spots. He used like 4 or 5 of his bench spots on quarterbacks to hoard them so people cannot cover their bye weeks. Genius move. Screwed a lot of people out of weeks, but not the favorite guy in the league. Nobody liked the guy, but The point was you got to have a backup plan. So again, Geno Smith might be a guy you may want to consider, okay? Tyler Conklin, tight end, Minnesota also, again, a decent game, 10 points, nothing to get excited about. Mecole Hardman, you may want to consider him. Let's go over some other names you may want to consider here. T.Y. Hilton coming back, getting that big catch, getting some points this week. He was nursing that neck injury. He looked good in his return, catching all 4 of his targets for 80 yards against Houston. Carson Wentz looking good that he's got that speedster there on the field. Hilton, again, was considering retirement, but good that he's back into the mix and to see him for some fantasy points. Donovan Peoples-Jones had himself a good game. What do you have? He had 4 passes, 5 targets for 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Again, I don't think Odell is the solution, but with Nick Chubb being banged up, Kareem Hunt going to go on IR, they're probably going to throw more. Donovan Peoples-Jones could be a good option, especially in DFS. Keep him on your radar. Who else is there here you might want to consider? Michael Carter. He was on bye week, but looks to lead the pack. If he is sitting on the waiver wire, make sure you grab him. He looked, prior to bye week, looking like the guy that is going to get that work. He looked like he's going to be the guy. Now, I know the Jets is not a good offense, but if you need a running back that's going to get some workload, I would go with Michael Carter, running back for the Jets. Definitely a good option, okay? Another running back you may want to consider here is Ernest Johnson, a great option here with Nick Chubb. Again, calf injury, Kareem Hunt calf injury. Chubb didn't play in last week's game. Hunt exited early. Entered Ernest Johnson, who could find himself as a primary running back or a secondary role. Either way, right? They are a run-heavy offense. He's going to get the volume. Ernest Johnson, maybe you might want to consider him. J.D. Mckissick, Antonio Gibson crapped the bed. His shin was bothering him. He was in and out of Sunday's game. You may want to consider J.D. Mckissick as well. If he's there, I doubt it in some of those pro leagues he's taken, but you definitely want to consider him. Michael Gallup. Gallup will be on a bye week in week 7, but he's set to return from a calf injury. A lot of calf injuries this year in week 8. I would go with him because, again, it's a roll of the dice there. Is it Amari? Is it, CeeDee Lamb, which it was last week? A lot of uncertainty, but I think Gallup gets his fair share and puts up safe numbers. Again, deeper leagues if you need a wide receiver. A couple other names I'm going to throw them out there here. Not that excited about them, but Devontae Freeman got some work with the Ravens. Also want to consider, and I'm not excited, but Le'Veon Bell. I think he ran in for a touchdown, I believe. Kenyon Drake, Jermichael Hasty. Who else? Darnell Mooney, Alan Lazard got a touchdown this week. So a couple other names you may want to consider. And if he is in your league, Carson Wentz looked pretty good this past week. Week 7 could be another solid quarterback that may be or may not be available on the waiver wire, okay? And I mean, that's really literally it. There's, again, at this point, your team should be established and you're grabbing some players to address your needs. And I don't know whether you're 1-5, 5-1. A lot of people that are following my stuff and got 60 rounds are actually sitting at 5-1 or 6-0, whatever it is. But they're winning. That's the bottom line. And the reason they're winning is because they've got depth. A lot of teams are scrambling, trying to get running backs, trying to cover their positions, and that's a big problem. And in 16 rounds, they make sure that you have a backup plan for a backup plan. All right, so you always have depth. You don't really need to go to the waiver wire week 7 or any week for that matter because you're covered and you're self-sufficient. And that's part of the strategy with fantasy football. You not only got to pick the right players, but you also have to have backups and be relatively self-sufficient and cover yourself, okay? Covering yourself is very huge for fantasy football, okay? Now, I haven't looked at the matchup for Thursday Nighter, but if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys do subscribe. Basketball comes back Tuesday, October 19th today. It does come back, so that's kind of exciting. But when I look at the football, I haven't even looked at what's up. We got Denver and Cleveland on Thursday, October 21st. I'm not really excited about this game, but we're going to talk about it in the preview show on Thursday. Again, I'm just not excited about this game. I mean, Cleveland is a 3.5-point favorite. Something to watch, and we're going to have to see who the fantasy relevance of this matchup, but I think Kareem Hunt is going to be gone. Very unfortunate. It is what it is, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not excited about that game. All right, guys, make sure you guys do subscribe. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, thumbs up, and remember, head on over to manscaped.com. Treat yourself, guys. Use promo code SHOWERLINE, save yourself 20% on some amazing trimmers, fit and finish, all that exciting stuff, guys. head on over there right now. And I cannot believe we're at week 7. It's flying by. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you. We will talk soon.